And welcome to the Hardin Simmons Coaches Show with Coach Jesse Burleson. I'm Al Pickett. The Cowboys ran their record to 7-0 with a 38-22 win last week as they had an impressive victory over East Texas Baptist. I want to start out, Coach, with a couple of individual players. First of all, your linebacker, Charlie Patterson. I would think that Caden Brown, the East Texas Baptist quarterback, is having nightmares, waking up, all he's seeing is number 5 in his face. What a game he had defensively.
Charlie's a very good football player. I only have one regret, and that's that I didn't get to coach him his entire career. So, and I tell him that pretty much daily. He's exactly what you want, man. He's a great human being, extremely high character. But man, whenever he gets on the field, he changes his whole mentality, and he plays with a passion. I love it.
12 tackles, 2 sacks, a number of hurries. I mean, he literally made life miserable for their quarterback.
Yeah, he was all over the place, and he understands what we're trying to do and what his role is in the scheme, and he does it extremely well.
He was the defensive player of the week in the conference. The offensive player was your wide receiver, Taylon Garrett, 112 yards in receptions. And, of course, that included the 67-yarder that kind of broke the game open to start it out. It seemed like he had a lot of one-on-one coverage and really took advantage of it.
Yeah, that was kind of the game plan, is try to figure out ways to get isolation on some different guys. And it seems like week to week our receivers, they kind of take turns on who's going to have a huge game. And I think that creates a lot of opportunities for us down the road, because you've got to pick and choose, who you want to try to double cover or focus on or whatever the case may be. And he definitely, Taylor, man, he's a great player and also great human being, great leader, great captain. I mean, he's exactly what you want.
2 plays I want to talk about special teams wise that maybe kind of got overlooked as you got to the end of the ball game. But I think you're up 7-0, and they run a fake punt. And see your special teams coach J.J. Elkins hollering. I think he figured something was up. And I didn't get it on the broadcast, but I think senior captain Kason Hanna made the tackle, but you stop him from getting the first down. Big play at the time.
Huge play. Coach Elkins had prepared. Let's just say we prepared those guys well. I mean, it was they probably thought we were insane, the amount of attention that we were given to being able to take away fakes, because they had ran several. I mean, all kinds of different things that they had done. So our guys were very well prepared by Coach Elkins, and then Christian Marshall did exactly what he was supposed to do and turned it right back, and Kason made a heck of a play to get that 4th down stop. It was a huge momentum play.
And then you're up 14-0. You're 4th and goal from the 4, going to try a field goal, and you fake the field goal, and Braden St. Alma runs it in. And I think Grayson Bearden, your kicker, threw the big block for him, didn't he?
Let's just say Grayson ran in there. I'm not sure if it was a huge block, but he threw everything he had in there and kind of got in the way and shielded the guy. So it was funny because we'd repped that all week long. And I told him, I said, when we get in that situation, we're going to call it. And I think they didn't think we were going to call it. And so whenever Braden looked over and I gave him the signal for it, he was like, okay, this is really happening. I see him look at Grayson, and Grayson's like, oh, gosh, this is really happening. So just great execution, man. What a fun play. So excited to get that thing to work, and our guys just had a blast doing it.
Well, you've had success running those fakes over the time, but that time you didn't go around in. You went right up the middle.
We did. We saw something in them, the scheme that just allowed us to be able to, and we've never blocked it that way before. And so I think the first day we told Grayson, hey, you're going to be the lead blocker. He's like, I can do that. And then when it came time to do it, he's like, okay, this is really happening. We better go make it work.
Now 3 games left, and you're playing everybody for a second time. This is a whole new animal. What's that like?
This is when the season gets tough, because it is very difficult to beat somebody. It's really, really difficult to beat them twice in the same season. And so you go into it and nothing's the same. I mean, and we played these guys week 1, and so they're not the same team and we're not the same team. And so you really just take the game plan and you throw it completely out the window. We started from scratch. We did not. We didn't even really look at the stuff that we did before. And I think that whenever teams do that, it's really hard to get the guys focused on the task at hand, especially, if you beat them early or something. There's no preconceived notions in this deal. And sometimes players decide that, and we've made a point to make sure they understand that it starts completely over, and we've got to be our best this week.
You guys, early in the week on Monday, late Monday afternoon, made the announcement that you're moving the game from Saturday to Friday night because of the chance of thunderstorms on Saturday. What goes through, to have that happen? You and Howard Payne have to agree, and what all has to happen to move a game? Because that's pretty rare.
It's probably the most stressful time for a coach because you look at it and you say, if we move it and something happens, and you look back. So we checked with all the the major national deals, the local deals, to see what it looked like, and it was saying heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, lightning, and hail all day long. And so I'm sitting there going, okay, and that's not going to work. We're not going to be able to get anything in. So I called the foremost expert that I know on weather. I actually had Coach Whitehead call his father-in-law, Woody Anderson, who's Kendra's dad, who's been a farmer for, I don't know, forever. And he said, no, your best chance is going to be to play on Friday. And so we talked with the Howard Payne people, Coach Bechtel, and he said, well, what do we got to do to play? And so I was like, that's the exact same thing I think. So we got with the powers that be and figured it out. It's not ideal for anybody, but great opportunity to get to play under the Friday Night Lights. And so we made the change, and it's going to be to our advantage.
You and I both remember a Howard Payne game a decade or so ago where you were 1 o'clock kickoff, finally kicked off at 7, and it was water standing. It was a rainy, miserable day.
That may be the longest day I've ever had in coaching. We literally went out for pregame. We finished pregame, and they said lightning delay. Probably have about a 30-minute to an hour delay, and then kick off 6 hours later, then have 2 more delays during that, and finish the game, I think, about 11:40 that night. And there was water from the wall to the hashes. It was just a crazy scene.
I remember sitting in the press box from like noon until it was over. Never left the press box, just twiddling my thumbs.
You're a brave man on that one. That would have been a lonely feeling for those 6 hours up there that night.
What about Howard Payne now? What are keys? What as you look at this game for the rematch? You beat them 38-6 in the season opener.
We've got to step our game up. I think we did some things really well last week. There was a few issues that we saw, whether it's personnel or technique or schemes, and we've really worked really hard to address those things. So it won't be the exact same in terms of personnel or schemes, because we know that we have to continue to take steps forward, and that's going to be the key this week, is understanding that if our guys that get in there, we're depending on them, and they have to play at an extremely high level. And so a few changes here and there, and I'm excited to see those guys get their opportunity, and to see those schemes, put them on out there. They look good on paper. Let's see how they look on the turf, and I think our guys are going to respond really well.
Final question. Often, a lot of things have gone well to be 7-0 and ranked number 5 in the nation, but one thing that's really jumped out is you have scored on your opening possession, and you scored on the opening possession of the second half. You've gotten off to a start and made other teams play catch up against you.
I think that's important. If anybody says they don't see that as a high priority, I don't think they're telling the truth. And so we want to get out and get off to a good start and do the things that we're capable of doing. And I think that 2 things happen on that. I think number one is our coaches put together a great game plan to start. On both sides of the ball and on QRF as well, just because all of that stuff must fit together in order for you to have the opportunity to do that. Everybody says, oh, that was a great offensive drive. Well, if you started off with a 40, 50, 60-yard kick return, that helps a lot. And if defensively, if we get them backed up and make them punt out of their own end, and then you get a decent return there, all that stuff fits together. And so the first credit goes to the coaches for putting together that game plan. But the most important thing is our guys understand the importance of it, and they go out with a sense of urgency to be able to do that early on, and then keep it rolling throughout the game.
Well, it is crunch time now. Last 3 games and 3 wins away from winning the conference title for the second year in a row. But step 1 is Friday night against Howard Payne. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate it.
Jesse Burleson, that is the Hart and Simmons Coaches Show. We'll be back with more after we take this time out.